How many of you find it easy to find a way out of things? I would find the easy way out of anything I could when I was in high school. For example, picking up the dog poop. I remember when I was shoveling it, if I didn't want to walk all the way back to the trash can, that I would just throw it over the neighbor's fence or into the bushes in like the garden in a corner of the backyard. We've been in this series that's called Take a Bow, where we have been talking about confidence and humility. Humility is thinking about yourself correctly, and with that, humility and confidence can coexist. Sometimes we're not happy with the life that we've been given or the cards that have been dealt to us. Maybe we feel overwhelmed at others' expectations of us or of our expectations of us, and we find it just too much. Maybe we feel like we want more space to step into, and we're frustrated that we're not getting the opportunities that we're seeking out. Maybe you want more playtime on the field or a bigger role in your play. Maybe we feel fearful and it's tempting to just not show up at all. With that in mind, the question is, if you want your circumstances or your life to change, is that wrong? I need to be clear. I don't think it is. I don't think it's wrong to want your life to change. It's not wrong to ask God for more to handle. And it's not wrong to ask God for less and say, I've had enough. I have enough on my plate. Part of the reason this discussion about living life in humility and confidence is so important is that life will constantly change. You can let go of things that are draining you, and you can have ambition to grow as a human being. Growing things change. Look at everything around us. You plant a seed and it grows, and it's always changing as it grows. It's how we respond to that change in life that matters. So how do we change in a way that's helpful and healthy and full of confidence and humility? Well, in Matthew 4, we get to see the beginning of Jesus' ministry. And Matthew wrote that Jesus went into the wilderness where he was tempted. While there, Jesus was asked to throw himself off a cliff to see if God would protect him, to prove that he's truly his son. Could Jesus have thrown himself off the cliff and got himself protected? I'm sure he could have done more than that. But Jesus chose to be humble in himself. Matthew wrote about 3 years later, when Jesus was in a garden, it says this: he took Peter and Zebedee's two sons, James and John, and he became anguished and distressed. He told them, "My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." He went on a little farther and bowed his face to the ground, praying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup of suffering be taken away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine." Even Jesus was scared of what laid ahead of him. He seemed to understand the extreme suffering that was coming his way. And that same breath that he understood that was coming to him, he seemed to reconcile himself to who he truly is and why he exists. Jesus humbled himself to do what he came to do. Jesus showed us an example of how to live so that we can be more like him, so that when we grow, we can become more like him. If we want to navigate life's changes in healthy ways, we must learn when to step back and when to step forward. Think of it this way: your space in the world will change over time. It's freeing to know that your life is always changing. And when we pay attention, we can see those changes for what they really are. But we also must learn to develop wisdom and always consider others first. But we also have to consider who God created us to be in that process. Take care, guys. I hope you have a great week.